man Dex. We're going to take a look at what's going on in the markets this week and how Dex plans to trade them. First thing, before we get into it, we just posted, excuse me, a little sore throat today. We just posted our free price trigger trade of the week on our Twitter and on our website. You just got to go to pulsewavetrading.com and sign up for a free account, and you can get involved in that. So the cool thing about this week is we're talking about how to short Bitcoin, which is something not a lot of people know how to do. And it's actually super easy and made even easier when you're using the price triggers. And Dex, how you doing, man? That brings us to our pre-market PulseScan, which we're anticipating possible. I mean, this is one of the reasons I actually chose to go short Bitcoin is because our price triggers are showing a crash alert on the weekly, negative momentum on the daily. There's a lot of reason to believe that Bitcoin could not. It doesn't have to, but it could take another leg down this week, right?
Yeah, we got crash alerts all over the place. Crash alerts in the U.S. stock index futures, and crash alerts, like you said, in the crypto space, and also in the precious metal space. So we have all types of possibilities, and this is just off the daily charts, not to even mention the weekly charts.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, though, what do? We trade what we see.
Yeah.
We follow the system and let the price triggers get us in and out of the market.
Yeah, I think actually with Bitcoin, I think the crash alert is on the weekly, and we have a 10 on the weekly, which I'm sorry, 10 on the weekly and a crash alert on the weekly. So everything indicates that it's likely to go down according to the algorithm. So we'll see.
Yeah, a 10 is definitely correction.
Yeah,
it means corrective territory.
Bearish.
Yep.
So so cool, man. Let's take a look at a couple things. This is Bitcoin. We said already we're most likely going for another leg down on that. Let's take a look at ETH BTC. I'll pull that up for you. Similar.
Yeah, everything is similar, like I was saying.
Litecoin. Similar. BNB. This will be our last crypto. Then we'll move on to some other stuff.
Yeah, there are some of the what you see is a dead cat bounce on the weekly off the lows, and it looks like it's trying to set up for the next leg down. Looks like that the sellers are going to start participating here and pull prices back down again.
One more crypto. This was our free price trigger trade last week, and this actually, well, what do you think looking at this? Still bullish? Last week it was bullish all week.
Yeah, this bullish momentum is still carrying over.
Yeah.
All right, so it hasn't stopped running just yet. So if you're already long this one, you will want to pop your way through it. If you're not a subscriber, you don't know what I mean when I say pop your way through it.
You're lost.
You're lost.
You're alone in a lake of uncertainty.
Exactly. So that's why you want to go ahead and subscribe and learn what we mean when we say pop your way through the trade. That's how you popping is a method that we have designed, which is part of our algorithm that shows you how to protect your profits and manage any open positions that you might have.
Our executive cat lady is upset that you use the phrase dead cat.
Oh,
she's, the cats. She's very sensitive. Let's look.
That's just what it's called. What can I say? I didn't make up the term.
She can't.
I didn't do it, Jen.
Sometimes,
don't be mad at me.
Sometimes cat ladies can be irrational and scary. It's not your fault. We'll protect you. We have an employee thing in place. You can't get violent in the workplace. So this is the Aussie dollar. My favorite forex pair to trade, just because I traded it most weeks. What do you think?
Yeah, that one still has bullish carryover as well. It still has an upward trajectory, and it's not showing any signs of topping out just yet. On the daily, you are in the Kumo cloud, so I would say the top of the cloud is going to be our first area of initial resistance. However, according to the weekly chart, we have a long way to go before we hit the bottom of the Kumo cloud on the weekly. So there's still a lot of room to run on this one. This one is definitely bullish for the time being.
Cool. Very cool. Let's look at the Dow futures. But you got this Kumo cloud.
In the near term, it is possible that the market could pull back and test that support on that weekly chart. You got two stone cold bearish pointers. So this is a very good example. When you get double pointers like that, sometimes they cancel each other out. So you had the one on the left and the one on the right. We're still talking about the weekly chart.
Talking about the weekly?
The red
Which,
bar,
this one and this one?
the red pointer, yeah. They're kind of like canceling each other out. So
There's a
what
bunch
that
of them. There's
means
like 5
is
of them.
that,
6.
well, the two longest ones.
Okay,
So the
gotcha.
two longest ones canceling each other out could be a situation where you have support. The market is supported. They act as stilts. And the markets will not, you don't have to worry about the market coming down and testing that. Now, there is a 1% chance that the markets will come down and fall through that floor, but that's 1% of the time. The majority of the time, those stilts hold up. Now, if you doubt me, just go to the left over here, go to the left chart. Look at those 2 pointers on the bottom there.
Yeah.
How they canceled each other out and rallied. All right. So, and look where you are now. So most of the time, majority of the time, the stilts will hold. All right. And the floodwaters can come in and do whatever they want, and stilts will hold.
I think we're both a little poetic today.
But there's a 1% chance their markets come down and break through those. So just remember, we just don't know if this is going to be that 1% time. I'm going to roll the dice and say it's looking like it's going to do what it normally does, which is continue to go up. So just wanted to put that in the back of your mind there for those of you who are participating in this particular market.
Cool. Let's look at the Dow futures. One of your favorites. This is the E-mini Dow.
All right. So on the E-mini Dow, it's been all over the place.
Yeah.
For the most part, you're really in a trading range for the most part. Even though you've had some widening of the range on the top side and the downside, it's still in a range, but I want to say you're sideways to slightly bullish.
Okay.
I think the market needs to, in the next, 2 or 3 weeks, take out the highs. If it fails to do that, I think we put in a new leg lower.
Okay.
But for right now, technically speaking, we're bullish the weekly and daily time frame.
Time for metal. Here's the GC gold futures.
Okay, this one is a little bit more confusing. On the weekly, you're in a correction off a bull market, but nothing really to write home to. You haven't really broken any major supports. So I'm going to say that this market's looking like it wants to rev back up again and make a run at those highs. The daily shows that it's supported and has enough in it to build a base to go higher. So I'm thinking that overall, the bears are technically in control right now on the weekly. But on the daily, if you get enough fight in here, if you get enough momentum going, I think you can go ahead and put in a new leg higher on the gold within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Lastly, let's check out the miners, GDXJ.
Okay, now GDXJ unfortunately has a little bit more technical damage on the chart than gold does.
It looks like gold after a couple bad weeks.
Yeah, and here's the problem. The problem is in the miners, don't forget, the miners are a twofold entity. All right, they're a two-way entity. They're an equity, but they're also, a precious metal. In other words, they're equity that its business model is based upon the precious metal. So earnings are still going to come into play and other corporate dynamics within that space. But then also the price of the precious metal that they're mining is also going to come into play and help those earnings. If gold is weak or the outlook is not too spectacular, that weighs on earnings. Interest rates comes into play as well. There's a lot of different factors that come into play when you're talking about the miners.
Cool. You still there? Did I lose you? I think we lost him, but we were pretty much done anyway. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Check back here. We're going to have a lot more content for you this week. Remember to go to pulsewavetrading.com. We've got great content there for you, and of course our free price trigger trade of the week. And there might be a coupon there that you benefit from if you're want to try out the PulseWave trading system. All right, folks, thanks so much for checking in. Dex, there he is.
Can you not hear me still?
I hear you now, man.
I don't know what happened.
You back?
I'm back.
Did you put that up on the screen? How did that get there?
I did not write that. I wrote the thing in the private chat.
Wow, that's really weird.
Yeah, today's a weird day. But remember, folks, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. Peace.
All right, take care.